I got to be honest, your broker may not like this episode. If you have this old school broker that tries to fit you inside of their box and they get pissy whenever you push the boundaries of their box because you're trying to do shit your own way, you're going to get a lot from this episode. Your broker, on the other hand, they're not going to like it. What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 292 of the Massive Agent Podcast. I am your host, Dustin Brohm, here in Salt Lake City, Utah, fresh off of an 8-day streak. I'd call it a hot streak, but it's the opposite. An 8-day streak of daily cold plunges. Let me tell you, holy shit, I see what all the hype is about. Now, I haven't been posting the videos, so we haven't been doing that. Maybe I'll get there one day. But my God, what a supercharge daily cold plunging is. Holy shit. So I just did one a little bit ago. I'm fired the fuck up. And this topic fires me the fuck up as well. Like you heard in the intro, your broker may not like this episode. Well, tough shit for your broker. Now, a lot of your brokers are fantastic. A lot of your brokers may actually send this to you. If your broker sent this episode to you, you found a good one. But as I'm learning, there are, unfortunately, way too many old school, small-minded, small-thinking brokers that just try to put their agents in a box, and they get very uncomfortable when the agent tries to do things their way. We're going to really get into this today. I'm not just going to step on toes. I'm going to jump all over some toes today. But if your toes are getting stepped on, you're the problem. You're the problem with this industry. So, tough shit. Maybe you should get out of scarcity thinking and start acting in abundance. For God's sakes, this episode has one objective: to empower you, the agent. I just want to empower you. I'm going to tell you my personal story of my journey, how I've quadrupled my income over the last few years as an agent, and how I've done that without selling more homes, at least not personally. I'll explain what that means. I'll describe my business model as it currently is today, because that I think could open some eyes. But I'm also going to share with you some steps you can take no matter where you're at. And this, of course, depends on ultimately what success looks like to you. But if you're an entrepreneurial agent, if you see yourself as an entrepreneur with a real estate license, this episode is absolutely for you. And unfortunately, if you are with a brokerage or a broker or a team leader even that is trying to fit you inside a box, and you feel like you are not free to build things your way, you don't have freedom, you don't have flexibility, you're not being allowed to act like an entrepreneur, I'm going to show you some ways where you can start working towards having that. It's going to take some bold moves though. I had to switch brokerages. Now, my previous broker was amazing. He was not one of these brokers that holds other agents down, not at all. But he was also limited in his experience with what I have built now. I had to move to a different brokerage and become business partners with my current mentor and a few others to learn that what I've done is possible. And there's so many different versions of it for you. So long story short, this episode is all about empowerment. So if you are listening, congratulations. I'm going to lay it all out for you. I'm going to get real as fuck. You may get uncomfortable because I'm going to bring up some truth. But as I learned last week, this experience is far too common. This experience of agents having a broker that is holding you down is far too common. Unfortunately, it's way more common and way more prevalent than I even thought. I thought, 15, 20% of agents had a broker that was that didn't want them to really grow a business, that didn't want them to grow a brand, that felt threatened by the growth of agents. I thought it was a small minority, but I'm learning it's actually seems like most, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. This is really crazy shit. Before we get started, if you're brand new to the show or you've been listening for a long time, do me a favor, whip your phone out, open up your podcasting platform. If you're on Apple or Spotify, please leave us a review. It takes a few seconds to leave us a rating. It takes a few extra seconds to leave us a review, and it really helps this podcast to be seen by more agents, because and hit subscribe too. If you're not already subscribed to the show, first off, you're making your life more difficult because you have to remember we have new episodes. When you hit subscribe, it just automatically downloads it. You get a notification whenever we drop a new episode every Thursday morning, and it's easy. But it also helps me. It helps this show. It helps the goal of the show, this message, this reach that I'm trying to increase in our industry when you subscribe and when you review, because the platforms, the podcasting platforms, those things are indicators that, hey, this content is in demand. People want it. It's quality. So quality content gets rewarded on social media and the podcasting platforms. The algorithms are very similar. So do us a favor, subscribe, leave us a quick review. If you're on Apple, massiveagentpodcast.com/review takes you right to the review page, so you can quickly and easily do that, and help us be the number one most reviewed podcast in real estate. I think we're actually like one of the top two or three. I'm going to have to look into this. Top 2 or 3 most reviewed podcasts for real estate agents, which is incredible. Thank you guys for that. But if you haven't yet, please step up, do your part, and help us to reach more agents. All right. A lot of the stuff that I'm going to be teaching you today, we're going to be going over in person with a small group of agents that I put together here in Salt Lake City on August 26th. I've totally spaced that for a second. August 26th here in Salt Lake. There's a group of no more than 20 of us that are getting together, and we're going to be working on really how to expand your thinking, how to expand your plans, your goals, how to implement those goals. We're going to start. This is the workshop that moves the needle. This is what, it's not just here's some tactics. Let me, take some notes and shit. Yeah, that's like 5% of it. But come to our Power Day workshop, August 26th, and make significant progress in your business, because I'm going to help you do it myself. For more details, to find out everything you need to know, go to powerdayevent.com, grab a spot. We have less than 10 available, so I recommend you do that ASAP, being that the event is, just about a month out or so. We had an amazing webinar just yesterday, a webinar training where I shared with you the 2 simple concepts that helped me quadruple my income in less than 4 years. And unfortunately, and fortunately, maybe for you, not many people are going to do this shit, because it's actually so simple. And it's actually, when things are so simple, it's really easy to overlook or to think, hey, it can't be that easy. It's got to be harder. I promise you, everything that I've done, everything that I spent, everything that I invested over 6 figures in coaches and mentors to learn and then implement, I'm sharing with you guys. We just did a webinar. If you registered, you have the replay. If not, I'll try to do that again. But if you weren't able to make that, get to the Power Day workshop here in Salt Lake. In person is much more impactful than even virtual. So powerdayevent.com, do it ASAP. And then, have you checked out BAMX yet? Have you actually looked at the platform that BAM has built for online courses and training on amazing different topics? Like, you could become a Canva master, a Canva expert. You could be an objection handling expert, which, look, even if you don't cold call, you need to know how to overcome objections. And Tom Toole is one of the best in the industry. And on the BAMX platform, he runs you through objection handling 101. It's really incredible shit. So plus how to master Instagram from the broke agent himself. You can, it's like, what is it? $10 a month or less? I think for $10 a month or less, you can join the BAMX and get access to everything, and use code MASSIVE, and you'll actually save even more money on your BAMX membership. So to do that, use code MASSIVE at checkout, massiveagentpodcast.com/BAMX. Check that shit out. Probably one of the best values I've seen. You need to take that seriously. The messages I've gotten from you guys who have joined BAMX, they're all positive. Every one of you is like, holy shit, this is amazing. This is so much more value than I thought. Yeah, I'm not in the business of promoting stuff that isn't seriously valuable. If it's just like, I don't share shit just because they pay me. That's why I don't really have sponsors for the show. Follow Up Boss has been a sponsor for a couple of years now because I believe in them. It's really great value. It's an amazing product. I get pitched all sorts of bullshit. They'll throw thousands of dollars a month at me, but if it's crap, that's not going to serve you. If I'm going to promote something, it is going to be of massive value, and BAMX is absolutely that. So go check that out. Let's have a real conversation now, shall we? Let's be adults. Let's talk about this issue we have, and that's there are far too many old school brokers, old school in their thinking. Okay, age really has nothing to do with this, but I mean, realistically, they trend older, but there's some newer brokers that have been trained by older brokers that just don't fucking get it. And here's the thing. You as an agent have a decision to make. Are you an entrepreneur who just happens to have a real estate license? Is your goal to build a business? Or do you just want to be another agent on the roster of your brokerage or your team, and you just want to keep selling home after home after home after home, and you see no end in sight? You're just going to do it this year. Next year, you're going to try to do a little bit more. The year after that, try to do more, and so on. And you don't really have an exit strategy. I know that the way that I worded that, it probably sounds like there's judgment on it. I don't mean to have judgment on it. I've met many agents that don't want to have the stress, the responsibility, the weight, the pressure of building a business. I totally get it. So if you just want to show up at the office, have leads in the database, and you call them, and then you close the deals, and you hand it over to the team to do all the bullshit, and you have the transaction coordinators, and it's more of a job to you, and you're fine with that, great, awesome. But I'm also not talking to you today. This episode is for anyone, any agent who's an entrepreneur that wants to build something big, who you're not just satisfied with owning your own job, and you also want leverage. You are seeking lifestyle. If you believe that you are seeking income, you're either naive because you haven't thought this through yet. You just haven't gotten there yet, which for a large part of my career, that was me. I didn't understand. I thought income was the goal. Well, great. But lifestyle, really, if you think about it, that's what we all want. Because if I asked you, would you rather make $1 million a year, but you're working 90 hours a week? Or would you rather make $800,000 a year and work a few hours a week? Most of you would probably take, holy shit, work a few hours a week, make $800K. Yeah, that shows me that you value lifestyle over income. Now, you can have both, but you have to start by right now deciding you're going to have both. Unfortunately, for you guys, most of you guys, if you listen to the show, if this is your first time, great. Welcome. Freaking love you. I promise I'm going to deliver today. If this is not your first episode and you've been listening for a while, you know I'm going to over deliver on this shit, and I'm going to be real with you. And you are an entrepreneur. You want more. If you were totally satisfied, you wouldn't be listening to this show. You wouldn't be part of the Massive Agent Society. You wouldn't be going to trainings. You wouldn't be trying to level up and trying to learn how to do it. You would just be good. So you would just check, clock in, clock out, and be good. You want more. I see you. I also want more. I'm wildly grateful for everything that I have. I'm incredibly grateful for everything that I have. I've grown a lot over the last few years, not just with my income, but with where I'm at mentally, spiritually, romantically with my wife, where I'm at as a father to my kids, with the friend that I am in the relationships that I have. I've grown dramatically in so many ways, and I'm grateful for all of that. While at the same time, I want so much fucking more. I want so much more, because I know that so much more is possible. Why? Because I spend time with others who have so much more. When others have something, it means, obviously, it's possible to get. The problem is if you have that mentality, but you have a broker or a team leader, or you're with a brokerage that stifles or holds you down and does not encourage and does not empower you along that path, then you'll never get there. For a lot of you, you're going to need to change brokerages. If what I'm saying to you resonates, if you're like, yep, my broker's like that, or, oh, I can't do those things at my brokerage, then you need a new brokerage. I'm sorry, but you just do. I had to switch brokerages 5 years ago to which allowed me to build the business the way that I built it. I couldn't have done it at my old brokerage. I couldn't have done it. There's only a few that I could have done this at, and only one of them existed at the time, actually. So your brokerage absolutely matters, but it matters to you. It matters to you. If you're one of those agents who just wants to clock in and clock out and just be a solo agent with the brokerage, you don't even have your own brand. You don't even think of yourself as a brand. You're just showing up, selling houses. You have your sign with the brokerage. You're another one. And I don't mean that negatively. Again, no judgment, but you're just another agent with the brokerage and you're trying to be one of the top ones, right? Well, if you do that, your brokerage doesn't matter nearly as much as it does to an entrepreneurial agent who wants to build a business. So if you want to build a business, you may not be in the right seat. Your broker may not be the right one. Maybe the brokerage is right, but your broker is the problem because they don't want you doing social media. They don't want you to build a business. They're not showing you how to do it. Here's the thing. If your broker has never brought up an exit strategy, it's kind of a red flag. Think about this. When was the last time your broker or your brokerage trained you on how to get out of selling homes one day? Think about that. I would bet a single-digit percentage of you can say that your broker or brokerage has actually proactively said, hey, one day, here's how you get out of sales. One day, if you build this business, here's how you can stop personally selling. I haven't sold a house personally in 4 years or so, aside from my own, on purpose. Yet, last month, we had 132 homes sold in my business. That's because I've structured it a certain way. I've built leverage over time. There was a period of time where I took a pay cut when I went from personally selling, and that was the only way that I had income, to building this revenue share based mentoring model that I have now, where we have agents on my team in 37 states and 4 countries. It's been a process, but I was also following the process of someone who had done it before, and they were following the process of someone who had done it before them. And so it was proven. I just had to implement. So all of this is possible, but not if your broker or your leader is not willing to guide you down that road. Either they've never been down that road themselves, or they're not willing to share it with you. I did a video, I posted a reel the other day about how your broker may actually be holding you down. Your broker may not actually want you to succeed. I thought it would ruffle some feathers. What I learned was, holy shit, this is so much more widespread than I ever knew. The messages that I got from you guys about your brokers holding you down, not wanting you to use social media to build a brand, not wanting you to build a business, not wanting you to scale and build a team. They just wanted you to shut up, sit down, make your calls, be in the cubicle from this time to this time, make your fucking calls, and do it again tomorrow. And then the next day and the next day. That's a problem if you're an entrepreneur. If you want to build a business, yet you have a leader that doesn't want you to. So first you need to decide what you want. What I wanted was to eventually get out of personally selling houses. I had been selling when I first made this decision. I had been selling for 7 or 8 years. I've sold a few hundred houses, something like that. And I realized this is not something I want to do forever. I saw real estate as a stepping stone to a business in real estate, where I could build some leverage, build some systems, have other agents, and just push all of my efforts, all of my energy into helping them to sell a shitload of houses, and then help them to build a business so that one day they could get out of it if they wanted to. That wasn't possible at my previous brokerage. It wasn't possible almost anywhere. So I found a place it was, and then found someone who had done it and just followed his lead. This is what I do with the agents on our team. Those that want to. Some of them think, one day, but right now I just want to sell some houses first. Cool. If you one day want to get out of selling and build a business, in the short term, you probably need to start selling a bunch more yourself. You're going to have to build up some money. You're going to have to build up some experience, all of those things, right? Awesome. But At the same time, if you know one day you want to stop selling houses, you're going to start making different decisions along the way. And you're going to start attracting, as long as you're very clear and very open and very direct about what it is you want, what is the lifestyle that you want, you're going to start attracting people, resources, and opportunities that align with it. So sometimes you're stuck. Your broker is holding you down. They don't want you to grow a business because then you won't need them anymore. You may leave them and go to another brokerage. They just want you to fit in their box. The messages I got from you guys blow my fucking mind and really piss me off, actually. This mentality, this old school mentality that a lot of brokers have, where they don't want you to build a real estate business. They don't want you to build a team. They don't want you to build a revenue share-based organization. They don't want you to build a personal brand on social media. They just want you to make your calls and do it again and again because that's how they get paid. And it doesn't threaten their income. The moment you start to build a personal brand, you may grow out of needing them. The moment you start to build a team, you might start looking for places where it makes more financial sense to run that team, and you might leave your broker. So this is why so many of them hold you down. And some of them, they just don't know any better. They're just so small-minded, they don't know any better. Real quick, I found some messages from you guys, just 3 of them that stuck out. An agent said, I had one broker tell me I'll never be successful because I wouldn't call people. Very old school broker. Of course, he told me this as I was switching brokerages. Then the broker immediately unfriended and unfollowed them. Interesting. Obviously not a broker who really, well, I don't even need to say much more. We know everything we need to know about that broker. Thank God this agent who sent me this left. Kudos. A loan officer said my executive vice president of the company and other partners in the office would put them down and made fun of them for doing social media. They said it's not necessary. That, hey, just dial, keep dialing, keep talking to agents. This has worked for years. It's tried and true. Right? Why reinvent the wheel? Well, this loan officer didn't want to do that. They've only been focusing on social for about 12 months, but during that time, they can attribute a number of new agent relationships, which is huge for loan officers, of course. And because of those relationships, many, many clients have come that way as well. Calls, they don't really do calls. They feel like they don't feel like emails or calls. It's not a good focus of their time. So they build relationships consistently through social media, and it's working for them. Interesting. Weird, because the broker said that would never work. And then this agent said that they were fired from their previous brokerage because he refused to stop using social media. His broker wanted him to stop using social media. So he said, fuck you, and he left. That broker said, and I quote, that this agent's feed made him want to vomit. How insane is that? These are the brokers that some of you guys have. Hopefully you don't. Like, I don't want to be right about this. This does not make me happy. This actually pisses me off. But for those of you who have a broker who at a maximum is really holding you down, or at a minimum, they just don't know how to help you get to where you want to go, you still need to be aware of it and then act accordingly. You're going to have to act accordingly. If you want to get out of sales, you need to be following someone who's done it. You need to be partnered with someone who's done it. There's a bunch of different ways to do it, and I'm going to be doing a lot more content around that in coming months, because I am blown away at the appetite from you guys to follow that path. I get it. I wanted a lifestyle where I didn't have to manage people. I had full flexibility of my schedule, and my income could scale infinitely based on how many agents I was helping to sell a shitload of houses. That's what I wanted. And I've since built that. It's still, I believe it's still very, very small compared to what it can and should and will be. But the amount of, it's just been so rewarding to see other agents outsell me. I've never been someone that's claimed I'm this big top producing agent. I haven't sold 1,000 houses. I don't want to. I want you guys to. So I have agents on my team that sell more in a year than I did ever. And I love that. That fires me up, and they know it and they don't mind, because like it's all just been a big synergistic relationship. It's awesome. So Make sure that you find a leader. Hopefully that's possible at your brokerage. If not, you need to go somewhere else. Find a leader who has done the thing you want to do, or at the very, very least, knows where you want to go, supports it, understands it, and is willing to plug you in with the people and the resources to make it happen. That's a great broker. Even if they haven't personally done it, if they're like, oh, hey, I've never done that, but let me have you talk with so-and-so because they don't sell houses anymore. They built a business. They're out of production, but they're still selling 800 homes a year. Talk to this person. That's great because they support you in that. You have to have someone that supports you. Ideally, someone that's done it themselves or can plug you directly in with someone who has. So you're going to have to audit your situation. And this is where I said in the beginning, this could be uncomfortable. This could lead to some bold steps that are very uncomfortable. When I left my brokerage 5 years ago to go to my current one and start building the business that I have today, which allows me to never sell houses, never talk to clients. I'm still connected with some deals. Like I kind of know what's going on. I still want to stay up to date because I'm interested. I want to stay fresh on the market and what's happening in technology and all of that, right? I don't want to be 100% removed. I want to be like 95% removed, which I am. But 132 homes got sold last month in my business, and I didn't know any of those clients. And I shared in a small piece of revenue out of the brokerage's cut. It didn't cost our agents on the team any extra to align with me and to be part of my group. I just got paid a small amount from the brokerage to facilitate this and to support, mentor, train, guide our agents. And it's me and a bunch of others. Like it's not all on my shoulders. There's a huge team, a huge team above me even of my mentors that help out. It's so amazingly cool, but I couldn't do that at my old brokerage. So I saw it was possible here. It was only theory at the time 5 years ago, but I knew that at the end of the road, there was lifestyle. I saw that this could let me never have to miss family dinner again. This would allow me to never have to be on the phone with a client during date night. This would allow me to never miss one of my kids' events or games or recitals because I had showings or because I had to write offers or put out fires after a bad appraisal or some shit. I dealt with that for a period of time while I built what I have now. And that's what I help agents do on a regular basis. That's what I'm going to be helping you guys with. I'm going to be doing a lot more content around this because I believe when we start talking about exit strategies, this is what agents actually want. Entrepreneurial ones anyways. If you're still listening, this is what you want to one day not need to sell houses anymore. See, that's the thing. If you still want to be involved in transactions, you still want to get in there and write some offers and show some houses and meet with clients, you absolutely can. There's nothing holding you back, but you don't have to because there's a business that's operating and selling a shitload of houses without you being involved in the day-to-day. That's pretty cool. And I'm here to tell you, every single one of you, it is possible for you. But it starts with deciding what you want for a lifestyle, the income that would make that lifestyle possible, and then aligning with people who have done it, are doing it, know the roadmap, can give you the blueprint, and are financially aligned, financially incentivized to help you do it. That's what's super unique about my company and with my team is with every single one of my agents, I get paid when they sell a bunch of houses. So you join our team and we become business partners. The only way that I get paid, the only way my business grows is if I help you sell a shitload of houses and to start building your own business. That's great. That's perfect. That's not possible in most places. So that's just kind of what I've built because based on what's important to me. I'll be totally transparent and honest here. I'm leaving a crap load of money on the table by not having a traditional sales team, like by not being the team leader and having buyer's agents and listing agents and having commission splits with them. I'm leaving a bunch of money on the table, no doubt. However, 5 years ago, I decided I want a certain lifestyle, and then I started to take steps towards that. Lifestyle to me trumps income. That they go hand in hand, of course, but I put lifestyle first, which made me realize I don't want to manage agents. Even if it's for a short period of time, I personally don't want to do it. Even though we have a bunch of agents I'm partnered with on the team who do run traditional teams. They are building traditional teams and they're doing very well and they're very lucrative. But I made those decisions in accordance with the lifestyle that I wanted. I prioritized that over income, and that's why I made the decisions I've made. I'm very grateful for that. But to each their own. So you need to have a broker that understands this, that gets it, that supports it, that sees the value in leverage and building an actual business. If they don't support that, you have to ask why. If your broker doesn't want you doing social media, ask why. Why wouldn't they want you to? What could possibly be the negative there? Why is that? They don't want you to stop selling houses? Why? Usually the answer is something selfish, something very self-serving for the broker. Great brokers with great brokerages with business models that allow for it, which is not most places. Business models that allow for it, the broker says, you want to get out of sales? Fuck yeah, let me plug you in to this training, this system with these people, and let's help you build it because that's awesome, because it also benefits them. That's when you know you're in the right place. So, I think you really need to ask yourself today, what is it that you want out of real estate? What is it that you want? If you one day want to stop selling houses, great. I don't mean next week, okay? I don't mean next week, but one day you want to get out of selling houses, say it out loud. Write it down. Commit to it. Say, this is the end goal. I want to have a business that sells a bunch of houses. I just don't want to have to do it myself. And then you put an income with it. Here's how much you want to make. Here's what that looks like. Here's the lifestyle that you want that'll allow you to do this and this and this and this. Define what success looks like. How are you ever going to be successful if you don't know what success is? Seriously. Have you thought about that? Define success, even if you have to start taking mini steps today to eventually be able to take big steps 3, 4, 5 years from now. At least you're taking the steps. We all know agents, maybe even you, you're just on this hamster wheel. Every time you sell a house, you're unemployed again. You have to do it again. You have to go get hired again, sell another house, boom, unemployed. Do it again and again and again and again. You do it this year. You do it next year. You do it the year after. And pretty soon, you're 65 years old doing the exact same shit. And if something ever happened to you, if you got sick, if you wanted to travel, if you wanted to take a month off, if you had health concerns or whatever, all that income would just stop if you don't have a business. So define success, then reverse engineer who can help you do it. Who's already doing it? Who already has that success? When you know what success looks like, define what success looks like, then find people who have that, then go get around those people. Maybe you have to hire them as a coach. Maybe you need to become friends with them. Maybe you have to join their brokerage or their team. Maybe you need to pay for their mastermind. Maybe you become business partners with them. I don't know. It depends on what you want. But my mentor, I couldn't hire. He doesn't do that. If he did, I guarantee you I wouldn't be able to afford it. But because we are business partners, I joined his team, his group, his organization. We are now business partners, and I talk to him a few times a week. This is someone that's become a very, very close friend of mine. And he's helping me to follow in his footsteps. And lifestyle was always his thing. He spends so much time with his family, with his wife and his daughters, travels all the time, yet still sells 700-800 homes a year. Not himself. He hasn't talked with a client in 4 or 5 years. But his company sells all those houses, and he owns the company. He's making 7 figures a year without ever talking to clients, without ever selling houses because, and by the way, he started as a solo agent working 90 to 100 hours a week selling homes, just like you. And he transitioned into being the owner of the business that sells all those homes. and has an amazing lifestyle. He has a bunch of other businesses, and he spends a majority of his time helping me, helping our group, helping our organization to do the same thing. So if you feel alone, I promise you're not. If you feel, in numerous ways, if you feel alone in that your broker's an asshole, your broker doesn't want you to do social media, your broker won't let you do certain things, your broker never discusses taxes or LLCs or wealth building or exit strategies, you're not alone in that, unfortunately. You're also never alone in your ambition. There are others who are already at the place that you want to be. We're not talking about inventing new pharmaceuticals. We're not talking about scientific breakthroughs that have never been done before. We're talking about building businesses that sell a shitload of houses and produce a bunch of income. That has been done in so many different ways. There are many different ways to do it. The way I've structured it may not be the way that you want to, or that you'll ultimately end up doing it. Maybe it is. But if it's the lifestyle that you're going after, go partner with, go join, go hire someone who has the lifestyle that you want. And if your broker is in the way, at some point you're going to have to remove them from being in the way. You're going to have to go around them. You're going to have to remove that barricade. I had to do that as well. That was one of the hardest, up to that point, that was one of the hardest business decisions I ever had to make, because my broker was a mentor. My original broker that I'd been with for 7.5 years was a huge mentor of mine, someone that had helped me through some very deep, very low points in my life and career. And I still see him as that. But I got to the place where I said, you know what, this opportunity over here and these ambitions that I have and this lifestyle that I'm seeking, it's just not possible here in this seat. This vehicle right here, it's been great. It helped me, kind of get up to this point, but I've now outgrown it. I have to go somewhere else for my family. And you know what he said in that conversation that, oh, by the way, I postponed for three or 4 months. I didn't pull the trigger on leaving the brokerage for 3 or 4 months because I just didn't want to have that conversation. I wanted to avoid the confrontation. You guys that have ever switched to brokerage and you've liked your previous broker, you know what I'm talking about. But when I worded it the way that I did, and I explained that I've outgrown the opportunity, what I want to do, I can't do there. I have to go over here. It's a business decision, nothing personal. He supported me 1,000%. He's still a close friend. My previous broker, still a close friend. He's even sent agents to me, and I've sent agents to him. Agents that weren't a good fit for us, I sent over to him, and vice versa. It's been really cool. I never in a million years thought that would have been possible. But he was an adult. He understood that I had to do what was best for my family. He understood it was a business decision, and he wished me luck. And once I made that move, that was probably the single best business decision I've ever made in my life. Outside of getting my real estate license, getting into real estate, at the time I had no idea what it would lead to, of course. But that pivotal moment, that defining moment, very easily could never have happened. I could have just stuck there and well, I'm just going to keep selling more houses. And, if you don't build a business, the more houses you sell, the more time it takes. Have you guys ever noticed that? You sell 20 houses this year, you want to sell 40 next year. If you don't have any systems or business in place, it's going to take you twice as much time to sell the 40 houses as it did the 20. If you're seeking lifestyle and freedom, that's the opposite direction. That's why I've made the moves that I want to make. I want to help you guys. That's why I'm doing this show. That's why I'm being so open. I want to help you. If this really speaks to you and you have no idea what to do, send me a DM. Let me know. Tell me where you're at, what you want, and I can help guide you. Maybe that involves you. Maybe that involves us working together. Maybe that involves you just, joining what we're already doing, and, we help you build yours. Maybe not, but I want to help you because I know what it's like to feel like there's no end in sight. I know what that's like, and it sucks. And I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. If you continue doing what you're doing over and over and over again, if it's not what you want, it's just a choice. It didn't have to happen that way. You chose to let it continue happening that way. Thank you guys for listening so much this week. I hope this resonated with whoever it was supposed to. If this ruffled your feathers, tough shit. Or if it ruffled your feathers because you were confronted with a lot of shit that you know you should be doing and you haven't been, let that uncomfortability, is that a word? Let that discomfort, there we go. That's what a wordsmith I am. Is this, 5.5 years of podcasting? I can't even, anyways, let that discomfort fuel you making the right moves moving forward. Because Ed Milet said something so powerful at the Forward event that I was at a couple weeks ago. This is worth me looking up. I'm going to find my notes here. Is this Ed? That if you have certain dreams and aspirations of greatness, you have big things that you want to do, the longer you suppress those without taking action and doing anything about them, it becomes poison. When you suppress your greatness, it becomes poison the longer you keep it in. And I think you feel that. If you have been delaying or procrastinating or just holding back on what you really want to do, you see all these other people doing great shit, but yet you're not taking the steps for whatever reason, that becomes poison and it gets worse and it hurts. I know what that's like, and I also know what it's like to finally get past it, and I can help you do it. But you have to reach out. You have to put your hand out. You have to take the first step. This is a podcast. I don't know if you're listening or not. So obviously, if you want my help, if you want my guidance, if you want my 2 cents, I'm happy to give it, but you have to take the first step. Message me on Instagram. You know how to reach me. There's a link in my bio if you want to set up a Zoom call, walk through it, talk about what our team looks like and whether or not that's a good fit for you based on what it is you want, the lifestyle you want, all of that stuff. But you are not alone, and you can literally do anything you want and build whatever you want in this industry as long as you decide that you're going to get it. Simple as that. Now go find the people who have done the thing and that want to see you do the thing. Go find those people, team up with them, get around them, and go frickin' do it. Thanks for listening. Please share this with someone who needs to hear it. God bless you. Take care. See you next week.